Before we begin, please note that the names used in this podcast are not real and have been changed to protect the privacy and identity of the individuals involved. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or deceased, is purely coincidence. Our goal is to share stories and experience while respecting and protecting the confidentiality of the person and creating a safe space for open conversations. Hello, my dear listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Hearts Unlocked. If you're new here, welcome to the family of Hearts Unlocked. Before we proceed to today's episode, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, Hearts Unlocked Podcast. Follow me on my Instagram channel, Tasty Travel and Talks, for more content. For those who are Spotify fans, you can listen to my podcast on Spotify as well. It's available at Spotify, Hearts Unlocked Podcast. Please do follow me on Spotify and give it a 5-star rating, as it would motivate me to create more content for you guys. I'm your host, Veronica. You are listening to part 2 of Talks with Percy. If you are joining us for the first time, I highly recommend checking out part 1, which is linked below in the description. It's packed with insightful stories and moments we shared with each other that will really set the stage for today's conversation. Welcome back to the podcast, Percy. Now, let us go back to somewhere in between, or at the beginning of the podcast, wherein you have mentioned about your husband is more of a actions person rather than words. Could you just, if you don't mind, could you just tell us an example of how do you understand his actions? How did you conclude that he's more of an actions person rather than words?
So, first of all, after 7 years of marriage, you don't basically expect your partner to, understand everything about it. But when it comes to me, I think of myself as lucky, because I'll just give you one simple example. We were in this mall and I was just looking at this dress. I was just looking at it. I wasn't saying anything about buying it, or I wasn't even there to, get it. I was just simply looking at it, just like anyone does. So the first thought that came into my brain was, maybe if I could get this dress a tad bit bigger in size, I would look good in it. That was the thought I got. That's it, for a second.
Okay.
My husband comes along with my son, and he says that, what, do you want to buy it? I said, no, I don't want to buy it. I'm just looking at it. And then I take my son and go to the play area. And after 5 or 10 minutes, my husband comes along with exactly the same size that I was thinking of.
Wow, someone read your mind.
Yeah, he read my mind. I was shocked. I was like, how could he get that thing in my mind? How could he actually read it? Because I just thought of it maybe seconds ago. Yeah. So what I realized is that once you really love a person, once you really need that person in your life, you just know it. You just know them top to bottom. What you can even read them. So that is how I came to know through my husband. And when it comes to like understand how I understand his actions is like, whatever he does, whatever fights he picks with me, you won't believe that every fight has been about me, like why I'm not taking proper rest, why I'm not concentrating on my health. So these are the sort of fights that we have. And obviously it's about me, right? So, that makes me think like how much he takes care of me. He takes care of me, and he's so much concerned about me. And this is the sort of thing that every girl's. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm at least looking for that sort of quality. and I actually found one. So I think of myself as a
Lucky
lucky person.
girl.
Yeah. I don't know how he thinks about me, but definitely when it comes to him, yeah, I feel I consider myself as a lucky person.
Too, I bet. No, I mean, now when you talk about actions, words, the example which you just gave, everything is so lovey-dovey. So for example, let's navigate through one example. So,
Okay. Yeah.
nowadays, not again everyone, some people
Mm-hmm.
require words of affirmations, like they want you to tell them saying that, hey, you're looking beautiful, or hey, I love you, or like,
Yeah.
something or the other. I know you can obviously sense it by, the way the opposite person is looking at you, or the
Yeah.
way you just said, the care or the love they shower you with, or surprise you with the gifts you really like, and all that stuff. So you do understand by that actions, but sometimes you want to hear it in form of
Yes,
words also.
definitely. Definitely. I want to hear it. Like, I'm not satisfied with the actions. If you, I'm the biggest example you can take. Like, when I want, it's not just the actions that I'm satisfied with. I have conversations with my husband where I say, it's okay, you can even say it out loud. He said, I don't like doing it. It feels a little artificial to me. I said, no, it's okay. I want to hear it from you. So, means nowadays he's getting habitual to, sending me I love you texts and all. But earlier he was not like that. He used to, just give a smile and give that nice romantic look and all. But he never used to say it out loud. He was very shy. But I used to say, no, I want you to say it because that gives me a different sort of satisfaction. You don't understand that.
Yeah, that's a different kind of satisfaction, hearing from your loved one saying that, hey, I love you. I know, I mean, explicitly, they do not need to say it out, every single
Yeah.
time that they love us. But, we just want to hear it, that kind of
Yes,
a thing. And
that is
sometimes,
what we are. Yeah, that is what we want, right? Because all I don't know how much influence uh, uh, you have from the movies, but I I am more of a movie fan, and I used to love certain situations, and I used to
so you have a
not
lot of
exact.
fantasies now.
Yeah, sort of a fantasy. And I said, look, I waited all these years because I wanted to do all that stuff with my husband only. And now by not expressing, you're just simply forbidding me the joy. And he's like, oh God. I
No.
said, no, I will try, but it will look very fake. Don't expect me to be SRK or something. No. I, I said, no, I don't want you to be exactly. Just be you. But
Hmm.
sometimes a bit of expression, just to, you know, um, make myself, yeah, see, I also got these moments and all.
Uh,
So I'm not a person who shares my personal life with everyone, but again, these are the things that we treasure, little memories,
yeah,
right?
memories. Exactly. Sometimes I have, I'm always, almost like always been in that stage wherein, I know that the opposite person really loves me, cares for me, but I always like, poke them, pull their leg, and I'm like, hey, you didn't tell me that you miss me. It has been like more than a week we talked to each other, we have like, met. You didn't tell me that you miss me. Does that mean that you do not miss me? Does that mean that my presence doesn't mean anything to you? I mean, sorry, my absence doesn't mean anything to you. At a point, I'm like, okay, please, Veronica, calm yourself down. The opposite person might get irritated. You're bombarding them with a lot of questions.
you know, this is something that I had a curiosity about. Like, what what does he do when I'm not there? So sometimes when I go to my mother,
Okay.
yeah, I really had that curiosity. So luckily, I have a friend in my sister-in-law because we both have a same age group. So I found a really a good friend in my sister-in-law. So she happens to be my detective. So what I say is, look, I want you to tell me how was your brother doing when I was not around, because this is something that you actually want to know about your father. So, so one day I think few years back, I just went to my mom's home for a month,
Mhm.
and I deliberately went there for a month because I wanted that gap to come. And this guy was not expressing at all. I said, okay, fine, let me create that gap. So for a month, I was not around, and I used to talk to my sister-in-law daily,
Mhm.
and I never used to lift his calls. And I said, look, I'm at my mom's home, and I don't want any sort of a disturbance and all. So he used to respect that.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
I, yeah, trust me, I can be a psycho and I can. I sort of called my sister-in-law and I said, how is he doing? He said, hey, you don't know, he's not eating properly. You know,
Oh,
he's
wow. Was that your expression? It was, oh, wow.
yeah, he's not eating properly. Sometimes, whenever my mom-in-law and my father-in-law, they bring up my topic and everything, he just looks onto his phone. And one time I caught him with your photos and everything. I
Oh,
said,
that's really so
really?
sweet.
Yeah, and he wanted to text you also, but since you said that no communication, so he's respecting that. And he's like, sometimes he's just awake till midnight and something. And then the biggest surprise that I got was that my sister-in-law and I, we are like horror movie fans.
Oh,
So
wow.
we sort of watch all sort of horror movies together.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one time when my sister-in-law was watching something, and this guy comes along and he says that, have you watched all the horror movies in Netflix? And she's like, yeah, I think we've covered about 60% of it. So he particularly asked me about the movies that I like,
Okay.
you know. So I said, what? Why does she watch all this? Satisfaction she gets into watching all. I said, no, no. This girl is more into, thrillers and some story kind of a thing and all. And what she saw was he had my diary in his hand, the ones where I write poems.
Uh-huh.
So he was holding that in his hand. So she said, I promise you, Sissy, that he was reading your poems. I said, that's a good improvement.
Very good improvement.
But
It's
when
actually
I
a
when yeah,
drastic
yeah, when
change.
he misses me a lot. He just doesn't say it, and he's too shy to say it. So I collect the information from the other way around.
That's bad. Wait till your husband hears this podcast.
Yeah, he is going to keep her away.
So that's how you made his, vocal side out.
Yeah, I made him a little vocal.
Mm.
He's not completely vocal, but
But
I'm
that's
fine with it.
actually, I mean,
Yeah.
doesn't need to change himself completely, but the improvements, the things he's willing to make for you, although he's not the, words type of a person, but wherein he's willing to say it just for you, that actually means a lot.
Yes, it is. Definitely. Yes.
Yeah, I actually, I am a kind of a like, more, I was used to be more of a words person,
Mm-hmm.
wherein I need it in the form of words at any cost. But when years go by, I just feel that maybe why. I mean, it's more like yes. Now I need both words and actions. I do not say that now. Okay, I just need actions. I'm okay without words. Now it's just like more like maybe I am mature enough to understand the love and care through the actions. But at the same time, every now and then, maybe once in a blue moon, I will pester them and I will expect them to say it in a form of words.
It completely depends on the personality,
Yeah,
Veronica, because every person's way of expressing love is
of course,
different
it's
and
different.
unique. Yeah, and unique too.
Yeah, it's
Because yeah, it completely depends on a person. It's okay to put let them know our priorities, because if they really love us, they'll definitely prioritize what we like. And
Mhm.
if like, again, it depends on the person, as I said.
Yeah,
If they want to express, it's good. If they can't express and we really love that person, it
it
should be
works
on our
actually.
side to understand, right?
Yeah. I mean, what else you need, rather than the person, loves you, knows about you and stuff. So, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
as you
see,
said,
and
their love languages, way of expressing different.
I actually heard a quotation somewhere. I was just going through some quotes on marriage,
Hmm.
and I think I just came across this quote where it says, "A beautiful marriage is, taking responsibility of each other till the end of the time, because love is out of the window in the first 2 years itself." So I would say, yeah, the love and the lust and everything that goes out of the window in the first 2 years itself. After 2 years, everything that is left between two partners is the responsibility that they have
Hmm.
of each other.
Hmm.
So if they are still doing it with the same patience and the same amount of love, then it means that they 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 mean a lot to each other.
Hmm.
So yes, definitely.
So, what is your love language? And how do you express? Or what do you do? I mean, apart from I understand, as far as I know you since so many years, you'll be expressing it in the form of poems. Rather than that, what do you do?
Other than that, his main priority in life has always been family. And when I want to express my emotions for him, or I want to tell him how much he means for me, then I do it every day by taking care of our family. That is his mom, his dad, and newly added member, my son. So his sister. So all relationships mean the world to him. So I take care of all those relationships. I make sure that they are happy. I make sure that they are well fed, and they are not. I make sure that someone is always there for them to share their feelings with. I don't do it because of him. I also do it because I happen to love them too. But the only way for me to express my love for him is to just take care of his family, take care of myself, and just be happy all the time. Whenever he comes back home, there shouldn't be any tension. There shouldn't be any sort of a sadness or something. If the sadness is inevitable, we are still together in it. So that actually lessens the pressure that you go through. So I make sure that we all are united. At least from my end, there is no issue to anyone. So that is the only way I can tell him how much he means to me.
Oh, that's actually a huge way, you're showing it. How? Oh, that's your way of
Well,
showing it. That's nice. I mean, maybe that is
yeah,
how, I don't know. I mean, again,
I have just one concept that I always believed when
mm-hmm,
it comes to relationships, is that when you actually be in a serious relationship, you
mm-hmm,
always have to say that everyone, or anything or everything that's around you, is ours,
hmm,
not theirs, not yours. It's ours. When we
yeah,
say it's ours, it combines everyone, even the your loved ones and everyone. So that is not difficult for me. because since I was a kid, I've always, got people along with me, and
Mm.
I've always thought of everyone as, a person, a human being first, and everyone is nice. Everyone wants to be happy. It's okay to adjust yourself for a little bit, so that they can also get the happiness that they want out of that moment, because you're going to be there forever with them.
Yeah.
So when you're there, when you are in a long term relationships, little adjustments will always bring happiness. So that shouldn't be hard for anyone.
Yeah, of course, if you really, really, really love a person, I don't think so. It's going to be hard for you to, come to a
Yes.
common ground on some stuffs. And, uh, for example, one day you are giving a 80% and
Hmm.
the opposite person is just able to give 20. In
Yes.
after a few days or something, there will be a situation wherein it will be vice versa. He ends up giving 90 and you'll just give 10%. So it's all about, how both of you together become 100%. It's not about always like, hey, I'm coming down 50%, you have to come down 50%.
That's right.
Hmm.
That's right. Because relationships are always about filling the gaps.
Yeah.
And if your hand falls short, the other will pick you up. So it's
Yes.
like that. So I strongly believe that it's not a one person job, it's a two-way road.
Of
Any
course.
relationship is a two-way road.
Any.
And whatever effort you're putting, if the person on the other end is also putting the same effort, then it's a relationship that that will go to a very long term. So
When
it's
it just
completely about.
bloom, I don't know even what kind of adjectives we can describe it, but if both of them put in the same effort, it blooms. It was like you're just heaven on earth, sorry.
Yes, yes, heaven on earth, heaven in your house.
Yeah.
It's on you how you want to live your life. It's okay to put yourself first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We are not not every, I won't say for everyone, I'm talking for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a person who would be okay to simply stay alone or something. I'm a person, I just want to be surrounded with people I love, people who respect me, people who love me for who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, a little adjustments
Here
and
and there, yes.
little compromises, that is okay for the kind of life that I want.
I think we should. Yeah, I mean, see, sometimes it's again depends on the opposite person, but adjustments are everywhere. So in your work life, in your office, sometimes you don't like something, but you do adjust for the sake of your teammates or for the sake of your manager. And
Yeah.
at home you do adjust. Sometimes, I'm speaking very bluntly, my mom loves her son
Hmm.
way too much than she loves her daughter. Obviously, youngest will get all the attention. So
Yes.
with that, she ends up like, oh, Veronica, she doesn't mind, she does not particularly mind on which food she wants to eat or what type of food she wants to eat. Oh, she doesn't care. It's
Mhm.
okay. I'll make sure I will, prepare the food which my son loves to eat. Sometimes
Mm.
at a point, I feel like, no, today I want something which I love. So yeah, there is again, a form of adjustment. Like, okay, my mom is
Yes.
something which her son loves, and I'm like, okay, go with it. So sometimes I feel like you are able to adjust with your father, mother, siblings, or maybe with your pets and everything. Obviously, with your pets also, it's a lot of adjustment. They make sure
That's
they
right.
want what they want, and you end up giving it to them.
Yes, yes, definitely. Why I would, there is one thing that we should always remember is that when you're staying with a group of people,
Hmm.
you can't make everyone happy at once.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll give you one simple example. At home, when we prepare sambar,
Mm-hmm.
not everyone like me, my sister-in-law, and my mom-in-law, we both are okay. We three are okay with it. We love that dish. But when it comes to my husband and my father-in-law, they skip that meal when
Okay.
it's sung. So we have to remember that not every time we can make everyone happy.
Everyone. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And when it's okay to be disappointed, not on, and when they are okay to be disappointed, you should also be okay to be disappointed in some situations. So when
Hmm.
you are, because even that moment will pass. There have been situations when all of us have had some fight or had some sort of an argument or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always a happy mode, but
Yeah.
whenever it is, we should always remember one thing, that even that moment will also pass.
Yes.
In the end, it's the relationship that matters to you.
Well, that is what it lasts.
Not-
Exactly.
Yeah, should not let that affect you.
Hmm. True.
So, Veronica, I want to know one special moment that you had in your relationships.
Special moment. Hmm. I can say that a special moment is, as we just spoke about words and actions. Uh,
Yeah.
there was this person wherein, he just showered me with, I do not say that he showered me with a lot of gifts. He did give me gifts, and particularly he did also understand what type of gifts I love. Okay, that is
Okay.
best thing ever. So without me bragging about, hey, this is what I like, this is what I like, continuously telling the opposite person, no, it was all about observing. He observed me saying that, oh, okay, she's the type of a person, she loves bags. Oh, she changes bags often. Oh, okay, she's shopping online for bags. Oh, she's the type of a person wherein she loves shoes. He observed, and he, like, he just, surprised me with some gifts. And some of the other gifts are something which I, like, never thought that I would even, wear it, or I would even anticipate of getting one for myself. But I don't know what kind of research the opposite person did, but end up, he did got for me some gifts which I usually don't purchase if it's for myself, but I
Mhm.
end up wearing them. I just liked it. I guess it's totally about the, the love and the interest you put in when you are selecting a gift for the opposite person.
Mhm.
Maybe that is what I saw in that gifts, the interest or the love the opposite person has.
Mhm.
And not only about that, a lot of moments wherein, he's also a very shy person. He doesn't open up and saying that, hey, I missed you. But he
Mhm.
kind of tells everything in form of actions, or he'll just randomly calls up and say, hey, what's going on in your life? I'll be like, we just talked yesterday and today it's not even 24 hours, and what's going to go on in my life? Then I just, randomly, I had this convo with my mom, and I'm like, "Mommy, he just asked me what's going on in my life. It's like hardly, not even, it's maybe 12 hours." She's like, okay, your dad also used to ask me like that. He just left the house like 1 hour ago just to meet his sister. And after 1 hour, he calls me and asks, hey, what's going on in your life? So that is their way of maybe checking up. That's their way of checking up on you. That's their way of telling you that they miss you. So that is the input I got from my mom with her successful 30 plus years of marriage.
Mhm.
So then I got this. That's when I started seeing in a different perspective. I'm like, okay, when people, like, your friends or your loved ones, they just randomly call up and ask, hey, what's going on? Hey, how are you? Or when you don't lift
Mhm.
the call once, they keep on checking back on you. They'll call the other day, the following day. They just keep on calling you. That's when I understand. Oh, this is all. It's love, care, everything they have on you. So yeah, that is you. I mean,
Oh.
this is the person which totally made me understand a different perspective of the world. Yeah, there are
Mhm.
a lot of moments as such.
True. Very true. Really, a wonderful moment, Veronica. Thank you so much for sharing that with me.
Thank you. I mean, you shared a lot. Thank you so much for, being a guest in my podcast.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Completely.
And I I really, it has been since long, and you know, we recorded a podcast at the same time. It's more like we had a conversation together, we connected. It was actually a great pleasure having you on my show.
My pleasure completely. Thank you so much, Veronica. You actually know uh, a lot and lot about me. I'm just glad that I could get to share a few more moments where you missed out.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for sharing those with me. And I hope that we get to have these lovely conversations. Most
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Remember, every story we share, every insight we uncover, and every moment we spend together is a step forward towards unlocking the door of our hearts. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey on Hearts Unlocked. Until next time, keep your hearts open, your mind curious, and your soul inspired. Stay safe, stay kind, and always stay true to yourself. Ta ta, bye bye, take care, see you soon.